Are we becoming more sustainable, or are we going backwards? It is my belief that we are not moving forward fast enough. We've already seen the consequences of global warming with crazy erratic weather patterns and higher sea levels. And, you know, put your hand up actually if any of you have felt climate change in your life. Yeah, I mean, how does that look for you? You know, how does that affect you in your daily lives? By limiting global warming, you can eradicate these challenges. You can reduce the impacts on the ecosystems, on humans, and on well-being. The decisions that we make today are critical in ensuring a safe and sustainable world, not just now, but in the future. So why are we not seizing the sustainability strategy that is already out there? So it is, in my experience as a health coach for SMEs and entrepreneurs, that everybody is really keen to be sustainable, but we forget our own health. We spend so much time overworking, being unfit and burnt out. And after a short spell in a mainstream job while I built my business, I realized that this is not a problem that is limited to SMEs and entrepreneurs. This is a human problem. When people are burnt out in their work and in their life, how can they do anything, let alone seize sustainability strategy? Before I became a health coach to entrepreneurs and SMEs, I ran a pole fitness studio. Now, this business was not easy to build, and it came about by complete accident. You see, I looked at the skills I had and I thought, I need some help if I'm going to up-level my life. I was unwell and I was in a doctor's office, and I saw this beautiful glossy brochure advertising a water sports academy. Now, it drew me in with these pictures of beautiful ocean views and rainforest walks, and I decided, right, that's it. I'm going to be a windsurfing instructor. Yeah. So I wrote to 200 charities and trusts and got refused. And I nearly gave up on my dream. So I was closing the brochure, and on the back was a picture of their patron, Her Royal Highness Princess Royal. So I decided enough is enough. I'm going to the top. So I wrote to Buckingham Palace. And I said, can you give me a hand, please? It's hard out here. I mean, you guys know it's hard out here. And to my surprise, some weeks later, I received a letter from the palace through my door. And the academy, they were stating the academy would be in touch. So they offered me a windsurfing water sports instructor training course on the Sunshine Coast of Australia. I know it's a struggle, but someone had to go. So I decided it had to be me. So I was so proud of achieving this course. I became a windsurfing instructor, rescue diver, and I come back to Scotland, and then I realized my big mistake. Can anyone guess what that is? The water was freezing. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? So I thought I'd pole danced a little bit to raise some money for the course, right? So I thought I had to use the tools I had, okay? And so I have this beautiful friend, Poppy, and she always says, use what you've got and you can't go wrong. So I thought, I'm a pole dancer and I can instruct. So I built my first business. This business was a pole dance fitness studio. We coached over 5,000 women in pole dance, fitness, self-esteem, nutrition, well-being, mindset, all the good stuff. And it was at this time I realized the combination of mind, body, and environmental nourishment was key to well-being. And that's what inspired me to take action to change my life and to change lives of many. Unfortunately, after tearing my cartilage, my pole dancing dreams were over and I had to close my business. So I set about implementing my 5-step recovery plan. You see, this was not the first time I had to use my 5-step recovery plan. I found myself bedridden for 2 years, and it was this long-term recovery that is the first time I devised this recovery plan. So let me go back a little bit. When I was 15, round about the 90s, I found myself homeless on the streets of Scotland. I mean, guys, that's why I look so young, because I was cryogenically frozen. Okay? One time I tried to get to sleep in a dungeon in Dunfermline, which is freezing, and the dungeon was locked. I mean, I'd suffered so many attacks. I was so scared to sleep anywhere else but this ruins of a castle, and the dungeon, I couldn't get in. I felt so low. I thought, how bad is my life? I can't even get into a dungeon to sleep. So I curled up, like right there in the mud, in a ball, and I prayed. I prayed that I would wake up the next morning. Now, there was no one more surprised than me in the morning when I opened my eyes. I was 6 stone, emaciated. I was bleeding from the stomach every day. After 7 years, 7 attacks, and a string of serendipitous moments, I found myself bedridden for 2 years with malnourishment and mental health issues. I mean, who wouldn't, right? So, I need a breath after that one. And so I was lying in my bed. I was void of nutrition. I was unable to focus. I was unable to eat. I was unable to walk. And I was so lonely. And I realized something. I hadn't died. So maybe I needed to learn how to live. Is it in here? So if you agree with me, shout life. Life! Woohoo! So lying in my sick bed, I thought, what is health? I wasn't quite sure. I thought, what is life and how do I get me some? So this is where my journey of health began. I had to learn to walk. I had to learn to eat. I had to learn to recover my life and my mind from 7 years of starvation and trauma. I had to become my sustainable self. So I faced challenges as well, other people's opinions of me. I mean, I was 6 stone, emaciated, ex-homeless. I was treated no higher than a slug on this planet. So can I ask you a question? How can we, as a human race, care about this planet if we can so easily vilify somebody who is so vulnerable? Strangely enough, for many, homelessness is not a choice, right? Climate change alone has caused the global displacement of over 30 million people. So, first, I had to learn. I had to learn to build the resources and the knowledge. I had to bring myself strength. You see, whenever you want to change something in your life, you first need to learn, where are you right now? What resources and capacity will you need to move yourself forward? Every good redesign project starts with a preparation phase. So, I had to ask myself, how would I repair the damage that had been done to my body and my mind after 7 years of starvation and trauma? I had to build a plan, develop a plan, and then I had to implement that plan using the knowledge and the capacity that I had learned. And I realized that with no money, no standing in life, I had no power to change this world, and I had no power to make sure what happened to me never happen to anybody else again. You see, to develop your sustainable self, not just for you, for us as a human race, you need a plan, yes, but with that you need action. So next, I continually optimized. I'm going somewhere with that. Optimized this process that I had, and I thought, how will I make sure that my past does not determine my future? How will I redefine myself from the homeless girl to the award-winning entrepreneur? You see, when you're developing your sustainable self, your approach will need adjusting, and that's okay. That's a valuable part of transformation. Through celebration and determination and repeating my recovery plan again and again, I managed to sustain the efforts, and I've become the woman you see showing up before you today. If we don't celebrate our wins, the work in transformation becomes too hard. I mean, the change that we need now for this world, for our future, means we need to celebrate the successes that we have so we can all champion our way forward. See, I searched for a way to repeat the success of my recovery plan. In my research, I came across this model called the Sustainable Strategic Growth Model. It is a proven model that was created by Dr. Llewellyn James. And so I adjusted this model and recreated it using the steps of my recovery plan that I had used again and again and again to recover from divorce, from homelessness, from post-traumatic stress disorder. And I use this process because it sure does work. So, although my work is grounded in SMEs and entrepreneurs, I can see how this model fits into larger organizations. In fact, I can see how this model fits to humans. And I'm now completing next level inquiry research with Turning Tides, a local homeless charity. Imagine if I could help a homeless or insecurely housed person become their sustainable self. Imagine the impact they could have with their story. So if leaders of organizations adopted this approach and created systemic cultural change, what if each of you started to create your sustainable self and permeated that into your lives and your workplaces? We could all become impassioned about saving our planet. You see, if we get the environment right for the human will right the environment. So today we have learned not only the effect that we have on the environment, but the effect the environment has on us. And I've shared with you my 5 easy steps of learn, develop, implement, optimize, and sustain, because it sure does work. Now it's your chance, guys. How are you going to develop your sustainable self?